Now on Spectrum Bay News 9, a major meeting today on the future of the Tampa Bay Rays. What you can expect just ahead. Plus, an interview you'll see only on Spectrum Bay News 9. We sit down with Eddie Hundley one day after he resigned as principal of Lincoln Memorial Academy. And the VA Secretary is in Orlando. We take a look at Robert Wilkie's plan for helping our nation's veterans. Thanks for joining us. I'm Stephanie Clay-Tor. It's Tuesday, July 23rd. This is Spectrum Bay News 9, your news weather now. Our top story, an interview you'll see only on Spectrum Bay News 9. Our Angie Anger sat down one-on-one with the former principal of Lincoln Memorial Academy, Eddie Hundley. They spoke about the controversy surrounding his resignation.
I spoke one-on-one with Eddie Hundley, the leader here at Lincoln Memorial Academy. Now, the school has a $250,000 deficit, and they have to submit a corrective action plan by today. Now, Hundley says they've done that and that he's complied with everything that the Florida Department of Education wants of him.
I will get the legal assistance I need to have this straightened out, and I will be made whole financially.
Right now, a homicide investigation is underway in Pinellas Park. Police say a 48-year-old man's body was found inside a home off 62nd Way North around midnight. You can see investigators working the scene this morning. They say the victim suffered trauma to his upper body and was found dead inside his own home. Investigators say the case is suspicious in nature. Troopers are investigating a hit-and-run in Pasco County. Officials say a black SUV struck a pedestrian on US 41 just north of Twin Oaks Road, then took off. It happened back on June 23rd at 11 p.m., but troopers are asking for assistance now. The pedestrian was identified as a 71-year-old man. He was taken to the hospital in serious condition. If you have any information on this crash, call police. An early morning fire destroyed 2 homes in Dade City. You can see just how bad the damage was from our Sky 9 video. It happened along Pocahontas Drive. Hernando County Fire Rescue responded to calls from neighbors. Both homes were empty at the time. Fire crews could not immediately determine the cause of the fire. Happening today, a meeting on the future of the Tampa Bay Rays. St. Pete Mayor Rick Kreisman and Rays owner Stuart Sternberg are meeting this afternoon to talk. It's the first time the two will be face-to-face since the team announced plans to explore a split season in Montreal. Spectrum Bay News 9's Jason Lanning joins us on scene from outside Tropicana Field.
Major League Baseball has tentatively agreed to a split season for the Rays. The city of Montreal is on board with the idea, but the city of St. Petersburg still has to sign off on it. That is why today's sit-down between city leaders and the Rays is so important.
I am tired of the games that are being played related to getting a new stadium built.
There's Mayor Rick Kreisman.
The Rays owner says a key part of the plan for a split season with Montreal and St. Pete is building new ballparks in both cities. The stadiums would be open air and smaller with 30,000 fewer seats than the Trop. Stu Sternberg says the waterfront site of Al Lang Stadium is a possible location. The Rays own the Rowdies, who currently play at Al Lang. There are thousands of veterans in Orlando this week for a VFW convention. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo spoke to the crowd last night, and today we will hear from another member of President Trump's cabinet. The VA Secretary will address some important issues veterans are facing. Spectrum Bay News 9's Jeff Allen joins us from the Orange County Convention Center.
VA Secretary Robert Wilkie will be addressing challenges that veterans could face when they come home from the battlefield. We're talking about mental health issues here, and the statistics, they are staggering. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs estimates that at least 20 veterans and service members take their own lives each and every day. Secretary Wilkie.
FBI Director Christopher Wray is testifying before a Senate committee today. This hearing could be a preview of the intense questioning former special counsel Robert Mueller is likely to face in the congressional hearing tomorrow morning. Wray is testifying before the Judiciary Committee, which is chaired by one of President Trump's closest allies, Senator Lindsey Graham. The committee is investigating the origins of the Russia investigation. Again, former special counsel Robert Mueller will testify tomorrow, and Spectrum Bay News 9 will have complete coverage throughout the day to give you the latest updates. And in our next half hour, I sit down with a legal expert to discuss some of the questions Mueller is likely to face tomorrow. We have an update now on the South Florida man charged with sending bombs in the mail to prominent Democratic politicians and journalists last year. Today, his attorneys are asking for leniency in his sentencing. Cesar Sayoc pleaded guilty to 65 felony counts in March, including use of weapons of mass destruction. He could get up to life in prison at his sentencing in mid-September. His lawyers have filed a request asking the judge to sentence him to the minimum under the guidelines, which is 10 years and 1 month. The filing mentions the Florida man's steroid use and infatuation with the president as reasons behind his crimes. Wastewater headaches in St. Pete are not new. What is new are autonomous robots that are coming in to fix the problem. In August, the city of St. Pete is expected to sign a contract with Red Zone Robotics to fix 750,000 linear feet over the next year. The Florida Department of Environmental Protection put a consent order on the city requiring them to fix 4.6 million feet of sewer line by 2023. Red Zone says they can keep the city on track, but for that job, it will cost the city $600,000. Ahead on Spectrum Bay News 9, there are 4 St. Pete City Council seats up for grabs this year, and 14 people are vying to serve. Just ahead, we'll introduce you to all of the candidates.